feel sometimes it's a blessing and a curse.
I feel very proud to be Black in America.
Being Black in America is like being an unwelcome guest in your own home.
I am actually proud to be Black in America right now, although it's very fearful time to be Black.
Being Black in America, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it's scary.
I feel like being Black in America is kind of like my life being in jeopardy because of the fact that I'm Black and our skin kind of has a stigma with it, with danger, with violence, with attitude, etc.
I feel like it'll be hard to find certain jobs.
I feel like we're at a disadvantage because the demand is always for someone who's white or someone who has a lot of money.
A lot of Black people nowadays are just dropping like flies.
Especially with all that's been happening lately in the news, it doesn't seem like we are loved here. It almost feels as if we aren't valued.
It's how it's always been from the beginning of time.
It was my first time in North Carolina. It was my first ever test in 8th grade, and we had no other assignment. It was like a little pre-what-you-know test, and she assumed that because I was Black, I was gonna fail. So she put the paper down and said, "Oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm so surprised." What can you be surprised about? It's the very first thing we've ever done. Because I got 100, everybody else failed.
When I went to this store called Zara, I guess because I'm Black, I can't afford it. They think I can't afford it, so they'll kind of follow me around the whole store and then ask me, how can I help them? And I'm just like, obviously, I'm coming here to shop. I need you to help me every single part of the store. And even though it wasn't them saying it verbally, you could just tell that it was a situation where they were racially profiling me.
I was driving my uncle's car. He's a really nice car. It's like a Lexus SUV type thing. And I was driving it down the street. I got pulled over and they thought it was stolen. But it was actually my uncle's car.
I went to a predominantly white high school, so they didn't obviously know a lot about Black people because there aren't a lot of Black people there to teach them. We didn't even have any Black teachers. So they were pretty much open to say whatever they wanted to say to us. And not that they were being hateful towards us, but they would say like little racist terms, and they would use the N-word sometimes because they thought it was a joke or because they heard us using the terms.
In high school, when I ran track, and after track meet, my sister and I and her friend were stopped by the police because they had been tipped off that someone had a gun at the track meet. We were 3 Black young girls, and none of us looked like threatening or anything. However, the police, they're very rude. They were threatening to me. I dropped my phone and I asked the police officer, can I pick up my phone? He clearly saw it was a phone, but he told me no, just go to the car. It was just very stern and mean to us. However, my dad is a police officer, and once we told them that, you know, our dad worked for the police department, they got really, really, really nice, and they changed their whole demeanor, and it was just it just goes to show how Black people and Black youth are treated in America.
When I was 7 years old and I was in the 1st grade, I went to a school and I was the only Black child there. So I always played with the white kids because they're the only ones there. So one day I was playing with them and they all like jumped on top of the table and they were jumping up and down, and then I was jumping with them, but I was the only one who got in trouble, and they called my mom, and my mom had to come up and talk to everybody. And I was 7, so my mom's like, were you the only one jumping on the table? And I was like, no, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so was jumping on the table. And she was like, they didn't get in trouble, and then the teachers were just, they had nothing to say. But I felt like that was a very racist situation.
One time I was pulled over at the airport and I kind of felt like the white guy was a little bit doing too much. I wouldn't call it racist, but it was one of the times where I felt like race could be a factor. It was one of the first times I felt like the color of my skin mattered rather than the way I looked.
know your rights and still know who you are without conforming to society, because often they try to put us down.
Don't let anybody discourage you.
I would always tell my future son or daughter to be respectful in any situation.
Definitely tell them to be aware of the things that are going on. Stay up with the news, definitely.
Pray a lot, because the world is a crazy place.
Make sure that you are always doing the right thing. I want to instill in him that drugs and weed and other substances, guns, gangs, that's not the way to go. I always want my children to be in the right place at the right time with the right group of people. Because a lot of times we get caught up. It's not really us, sometimes it's our friends that get us in trouble. So I want to always just remind my children to always do the right thing, to always make sure that they are respectful and that they're always intelligent and that they do the best they can.
Make sure that you always live up to what you really can be, and don't let anybody tear you down.
I'd probably have them really understand and read on Black culture and understand what it really means to be African American, especially in the 21st century.